Hi, I'm Mihir Joshi and welcome back to the part 2 of the MJ show with Shibani Kashyap. If you've not seen part 1 first, go and check it out. So, Bollywood was happening, I think the Zinda happened in 2007, correct?
That's right.
Around then.
Yeah.
But before that, you had released an album called Nazakat.
Yeah, yeah.
And I remember this is the time when I was on FM Rainbow and I used to have this 1 hour of Hindi music that I used to play. So firstly, I'd made a point that I'm not going to play Bollywood. I'm going to play the non-Bollywood content which was out there.
Yeah.
I was one of the only shows which was playing that content. And when this album came out, I was so blown away. The song was so beautiful. I think it was very different from anything that I was listening to from any other indie pop artist. It was very bluesy, very, very soulful. And I remember telling you when we first met, that's my favorite song by you.
Yeah.
How did that album come about?
So again, as you know that I like to really experiment with my music.
Yeah.
After Nagmagi happened, then, Bollywood also happened for me by good fortune because Sajna Aa Bhi Ja became a huge hit, and of course, I began touring the country, and that song was like, it touch wood. It was a blessing because it was like a path-breaking film with a song where the singers were being shown on screen. So it got me a lot more mileage as a singer and composer and performer, live performer.
Right.
But somewhere I felt that my roots still lie in independent music, and I have to keep creating that, come what may. Be it Bollywood, Hollywood, whatever. I cannot lose my own individuality. So then soon after Sajna Aa Bhi Ja, I started working on my next album. I didn't know who was going to release it, but I always feel that whenever you create something, something or the other finds its own way. It finds its own way to just come out there in the open and get released. So I worked on this very bluesy kind of a riff, and I was just experimenting with this melody came to my mind, and very sort of groovy and then again I hadn't got over the hangover of shairi. Because I felt that Urdu shairi always lends a lot of enchantment to music. So this time, but I did it in a very languid, not a Sufi rock way, the way I did with Nagmagi. So this was done in a very languid way, and it was a sheer experimentation. But the song came out, even better than my expectations.
For sure.
The production was done by Julius Packiam, who's currently doing all the background scores for films like Ek Tha Tiger and Dhoom and whatnot. So he's a very dear friend who's a superb arranger and programmer. So he programmed the track, and he did a fantastic job. Again, those days he was still based in Delhi. And I got my friend Valentine Shipley to actually play
the guitar on it?
Yeah,
he's a fantastic guitar player.
Yeah, he's fab. And Murad, of course, did the shairi. And then, of course, since we were still at the glorious age of pop music, little did we know that soon after pop music is going to start, completely disappearing from the scene.
Pop music, yes.
So, I approached Shashank because I had worked with him recently in Vaisa Bhi Hota, and I felt the way he treats a song and a film is very, very avant-garde, very different. And I wanted something avant-garde for this also. So I just called him, and he just emailed me the track. He fell in love with it. And he said, we are shooting in a week's time. Just come to Bombay, get Murad with you, and we're shooting in a week's time. And the whole concept that he came out with, with me playing an angel, Murad playing a devil as a, at a DJ console. And we had this guy called Harrison, who's today one of the most celebrated trainers that we have, because he has such an amazing body. So we wanted to use a very earthy, Herculean kind of a body, and basically an angel descends from heaven. So it was a whole satirical thing that he created. So better thing will be when you ask everybody to go and see the
Watch
video.
Watch the video, yes,
and interpret it in your own way. It'd be nice to know what you all think of it.
You know what? You should do that. I'm going to give you a link to the video. And this is my recommendation on the show, okay? If you've not seen a single song by Shibani, you've got to see this one first. That's like, you should check it out because it's honestly, in my opinion, one of the most beautiful songs that I've heard. I'm really glad that I get to actually sit and talk with the person who's made the song. And, I'm going to give you a chance to check out the video. The links will be here. But I'm going to give you a chance to listen to it right now as well. So, can I hear you play a little bit of it?
Luckily, the treatment of the song, we've kept it exactly like the way I play it. So it's very, very, when you hear it, you can relate to it immediately. Yeah, absolutely. सारी रात सिरानों से लेने लगी अंगड़ाइयाँ। क्या नजाकत है तेरी अदाओं में, क्या शरारत है तेरी अदाओं में।
So cool, brilliant stuff. And you know what, I'm gonna we talked about the song, and that was from your first film, but we didn't get you to sing that. So can I have a little bit?
Oh yes, of course.
Of course. I mean, I know
I
that's.
thought I could escape singing Sajna Aa Bhi Ja,
No,
just
come
this
on,
once,
you
but-
you can't do that. I know. I think everywhere you go, you probably have to sing that song, and we kinda evaded that in part 1. So here you go. Part 1 से part 2 में आ गया ये गाना.
नहीं लगता तेरे बिना दिल मेरा, हाय नहीं लगता तेरे बिना दिल मेरा। सजना भी जा, सजना आ भी जा, सजना भी जा, सजना आ भी जा। नहीं लगता तेरे बिना दिल मेरा, हाय नहीं लगता तेरे बिना दिल मेरा। सजना आ भी जा, सजना आ भी जा, सजना।
Superb stuff. And you know what, guys, you probably noticed she plays the guitar, she's not just playing it here as a exception. At all of her gigs, wherever I've seen her perform, she's always got a guitar in front of her. I got to say this, I don't know too many female pop singers in India who go out on stage with a guitar and play. You know, everybody wants the freedom of just walking around and whatnot, but I love the fact that you've always had a guitar. So yeah, lots of fantastic stuff more to talk about, but that's going to happen in part 3 of the MJ show with Shibani Kashyap. Check it out right away.